So I have been in Berlin for the last 2 weeks or so, and one of my favorite things to do while I'm here is to go vintage hunting. Where I live, there isn't exactly a lot of options or chances to go to estate sales or garage sales or flea markets that aren't kind of like a direct from China type thing. So while I was here, I went to about 3 or 4 very big flea markets, and here is what I found. This is a vintage filigree scarab from Egypt. Each one of these little wires is placed one by one, and it is absolutely a beautiful skill to have. It is a 3D item, and it also has this hieroglyphic pattern on the back. I can see some ankhs at the bottom, as well as some other hieroglyphic symbols. I also picked up this vintage cartouche. I really like this because of the technique used called saw piercing. Each one of these was cut out by hand. It's not something that I'm good at all, so whenever I see this technique, I'm definitely on board to pick it up. Here is another sterling silver Egyptian pendant, which is Horus or Horus, and it is two-sided and also a lot thicker and heavier than the other pieces I have, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's hand etched. This one is a little more fun and not vintage, but it is an owl, and owls are an animal that I've always loved. I think they're beautiful. They have a lot of symbolism throughout many cultures, and I just thought this was so cute. And I have about 2 or 3 owl pendants, so I'm definitely going to add it to my charm necklace that I have, where I've been collecting charms maybe for like the last 15-20 years to it. I try to get pendants, or at least charms, that represent my travels and my experiences, and this one says I love you in German. So it is really thin and really cute. Oops. But it is distinctly German, and most of the pendants I've gotten are vintage and Egyptian or commercial, or I'm not really sure their origins. So this one I think is a perfect one to add to the collection. I haven't cleaned it up yet. I might leave it a little oxidized. We'll see. So this is one of the pricier pieces that I purchased while I was here. But if you know me, I am a sucker for filigree. This is sterling silver, and it's a bracelet, and each one of them have these beautiful garnets. Maybe glass, I'd have to get it checked, that are in here, but it is a perfect, just genuinely beautiful feminine piece. The next piece I found, and it was like a needle in a haystack. The vendor, he had hundreds and hundreds of rings, both, you know, commercial, old, moody, all types of metals. And then there was this blank cartouche, and it has Blue Lotus designs on both sides that are pierced and etched, and I'm not sure what to do with it. I might use it as a base for a ring. I really don't know, but I couldn't leave it. One of my last days here, I went to an African food festival, and of course there was vendors and music, and I got this double-handed, open-handed ring. I think it's really interesting. I might go in with my Dremel and etch out the fingers a little bit much to give it a little bit more definition, or I might just leave it. We'll see. I also got this double cowrie ring. It's very similar to one I make, but I did not put any with the cowrie inside, so that's really cool to me as well. Because I love jewelry, I could not resist these 2 bracelets. They're just made of stainless steel, but I really love the beads in on this top one, and I love the chain design on this bottom one, which I really don't see a lot. So once I add some bigger extenders to this bracelet, I'll be able to wear this. But I think these are really cute. Like I said, because I love jewelry in general, I love people and faces, and these two multicolor kind of dancing, hugging earrings, I could not pass these up. These are just adorable. I just think this face is so quirky and cute. It's not vintage, it's commercial. I think it's an alloy metal, which is usually my biggest pet peeve because over time alloy metals will eventually dissolve or crumble. But I thought this was such a cutie patootie. I had to take it to add it to my faces collection that I have. Like this one, for example. This is South African, and look at the little beads on the earrings. Next up, I paid about $2 for these. They were not a pair, they were sold separately, but as you can see, they have no pair. I think this one on the left with the crystal is brass, and I think the one on the right, because of the oxidation, is silver. And I think they both have some sort of crystal in here, although I'm tempted to think this is garnet. Usually garnets are not that big, so I'm going to chalk it up as just to a crystal. I love coin jewelry, but I do not make pendants. I make almost exclusively coin rings, but I don't think I have a lot of coins representing, or no, I don't have a lot of pendants or charms representing my North American heritage. So when I saw this at one of my favorite flea markets in the world at Mauer Park, I absolutely had to get it. The vendor, he was absolutely lovely. This is one of the only ones he had like this, and I think it is perfect. Here is another beautiful hand-pierced cartouche. The details are amazing, down to his face, down to the scarab and the onks on the side. It is one-sided, which is fine, but it is a skill I don't really possess as a metalsmither. So when I saw this sprinkled amongst the many different charms, I also was like, yes, definitely that one. Now, if you follow me at all, or my jewelry at all, you know that leaves are a big motif that are represented throughout my metalsmithing, throughout my beadwork. I just love leaves, and this little 3D leaf is perfect. So I found it in the middle of a foresty flea market, and I didn't have to squabble over it. It's beautiful handiwork, beautiful etching, and I'm glad to add it to my collection. This one is really fun. It is like a alligator or crocodile or lizard. I'm really not sure. The legs on this side are kind of bent in motion, and the others on this side are kind of flat. At first I was wondering, is this a mistake? Like, did this get bent? But I'm just gonna leave it because its motion is great and it is really well done. I love thinking about whatever story went into making pieces like this before it ended up in my hands. This one is a little harder to show, but it is on a little lobster claw clasp, but it is a itty bitty bikini. Here is the bottoms, and here is the top, and I am a type of beach life forever type person, so I thought this would be well represented in my charm collection. To be honest, I don't need any moonstone rings, and I don't need any more rings because I only have 10 fingers, and I'm running out of space, you know? So I thought this little eye-shaped moonstone ring was a total cutie patootie, and it's a perfect little pinky ring. And the moonstone is really great quality. There's flash from all sides, and it's a great little treasure. Okay, these two beauties were one of my priciest purchases from my flea market finds, but I think it's well worth it. The handiwork is astounding. Of course, they are scarabs inlaid with abalone shell or abalone, and they are two-sided. If these are too heavy, which I think they are, I am going to turn them into necklaces. Usually I would have haggled about the price I paid for these. I rarely haggle, but there's one instance where I choose to never haggle, is when I have never seen something online. And I spend way too many hours looking at materials, beads, jewelry, as just a jewelry lover, seeing what's out there. And if I've never seen something online, it's unique to me, and I'll purchase it if I think the price is fair. And although it was pricey, I think the price is fair. If you look here, you can see that the saw piercing, which is the cutting out of the circles there, all through the piece, is really well done. And to have it be double-sided, oh, I wish they weren't as heavy as they were, because I would keep them, but we'll see if I'm going to keep a pendant. I have several scarab pendants that are so beautiful already. I'm not sure if I'm wearing them as much, but we'll see if I keep one of these and sell the other. These itty bitty ones with the mother of pearl, I will be holding on to. They are the perfect weight. They are beautifully handmade with so many intricate designs. And like the bigger ones I just showed you, they are also double-sided. I'm thinking about whether I'm going to add a charm to these little hoops below. Maybe a teardrop mother of pearl bead if I have one. But I think that would really put the icing on the cake for this. I don't normally buy chains or necklaces where I can't tell what the material is. This very much looks like silver to me, but it also kind of is rubbing off in ways that give me plastic vibes, but it does not feel like plastic at all. But I think it's a really cute, simple circle chain. And it was very inexpensive. I found it at a secondhand shop after I went bead shopping, and I think it's a great addition to my collection. Also, believe it or not, I do not make waist beads. I have had friends who have asked me to make them for them, and I have made them as gifts, but I've never sold them. I always feel that truly it's not my culture. I don't connect with making waist beads for people for sale, because I don't think that's my connection to beadwork. I make earrings, I make necklaces, I make bracelets, I make all of these things that I feel such a strong connection to in an ancestral, heartfelt way. In waist beads, I feel like such a poser trying to make or sell them, so I've never sold them. You'll never find me out here selling waist beads to anyone. So when I was here at this African food festival, there was a woman who was selling waist beads, and I bought my first pair using these beautiful copper tone crystals. I'm not going to show you mine that I'm wearing, but these were the extra crystals that were left over, and I think they will be cute for little earrings or something. But I'll definitely tag her page in this post.